GearNetwork.com.
This is a Gear Network production. You a new podcaster need a show introduction or a commercial bumper? Or do you need a commercial for your business, brand, or podcast? Need help with producing your content? Let GRN Productions answer the call. For as little as $5, GRN can provide the services needed to make your podcast sound exceptional, regardless of what network you belong to. From voice work to checking and balancing your levels to eliminating dead air, we have you covered. Head on over to GearNetwork.com. That's GERE Network.com and click on the GRN Productions banner under the Support Our Friends box on the main page beneath the Amazon logo to take a look at some of the deals that we offer. Alternatively, you can email me at GearNetwork, GERE Network @gmail.com with what you need, and I'd be happy to reach out and discuss the plans that work best for you. Don't delay, stand out today with GRN Productions. You need quality, we need money. Let's be friends.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back here on the TTRP. We're back after a 2-month layoff because of personal lives and family matters handling between myself and Cyclone Jones. We're back, but we're going to bring you some content because during those 2 months, we had content built up. We just never were able to get it out. So we're going to get it out all in one shot today. It's the 2018 TTRP Interview Palooza. We have interviews from the 450 Boys, Katie Arquette, Paragon, and more. So keep it tuned in. We're going to have all of the interviews here for you right here on the TTRP.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know me, I know you, we know each other. Cyclone Jones in the building, along with Pat G. The G stands for Gangster. Pat G, please tell them what it is.
Yes, it's another edition of a special interview as we're joined by the man with the shake weight, Sizzling Stan Styles.
Stan, thank you for joining us, sir. How are you today?
That's right. I'm doing amazing. I'm doing sizzling, and I'm doing my shake weight. I'm shaking my shake because it's my afternoon shake weight workout.
Whoa. Hold on. That didn't sound like a shake weight. Is it this? You do know we are a PG. Oh, no, we're not PG, are we?
No.
Fuck no.
There goes the explicit.
Now it's like the genie from Aladdin set free. I can really fucking talk now. Oh, thank God.
Continue shaking away, sir.
That was some intro too. I like that. That was awesome.
Well, thank you. You know, thank you. I've had to work on. I had a road dog entrance at first a long time ago. You remember that, Patchy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I did a road dog thing. I just changed the words up, but it was still road doggy. And not to drop any names, but when I interviewed Jeff Jarrett, I did the intro, and he looked at me kind of sideways, and he laughed about it. He was like, "Oh, we got some shades of Jesse James there," and I'm like, "Oh, time to change that shit now."
And then also Kevin Kelly.
Yeah, Kevin Kelly as well. Yeah, so I had to change some things up. So with that being said, I came up with my own Cyclone entrance, and that's what it is. But thank you for joining us. We truly do appreciate that. Let's just get started with the interview. We've already broke the hymen on the explicits. So
yes, we have 2 F-bombs in a matter of 7 minutes.
Yes.
So Stan, please, what was that?
I have no idea.
Oh my God. Listen, I told you, dude. Listen, well, it's already explicit. It's okay. You use whatever toys you want to use. Well, Sizzling Stan, tell me a little bit about your wrestling career. When did you start? How long you been working for?
I started actually training in 2009, late 2009. Started wrestling in 2010. And I've been pretty much, doing this for almost 8.5 years, which is crazy to me because it actually feels longer. But it's like, oh man, I've almost been around a decade already. Gee. But I love it. I love it so much.
Okay, so
my dog's barking. He probably thinks my girls are here, but it's probably the mailman. Whatever. I'll get them later.
So tell me this: what gave you the wrestling bug? What event? like I always ask this question. I forgot to ask you in the last interview, but there's one event for a lot of people that, made them say, "Oh, I got to be a pro wrestler." That trigger, exactly. Like for mine was I walk into a restaurant with my family. Wrestling was on the restaurant TV. I walk in, our table's ready, and they're walking away, and I'm mesmerized at the TV because I saw The Rock standing there in front of the TV doing a promo in the ring, and I was like, literally like, "Yo, F this! I got to be a pro wrestler."
That is similar to my story. I was a little Stan style, young Stan style. I was just, I used to watch, of course, everyone used to watch when they were little Saturday morning cartoons. I love my Saturday morning cartoons, like my Garfield, my Ninja Turtles, and I would just have the TV on, and Monday night, not Monday Night Raw, I'm sorry, Superstars, WWF Superstars came on.
Yeah.
And I was just had it on the background. And then Shawn Michaels was on the Heartbreak Hotel. And I was like, who the hell is this guy, right? And I laughed at him. I was like, this guy has clip-on earrings. The one said Shawn, the other said Michaels. And I was just laughing. And I just get up. And this way he was presenting himself, what he was saying. I don't even know who he had as a guest, or he just was doing, the Heartbreak Hotel promo in the ring. And I was like, oh, man, this guy's great. And I think just from that moment, that just it just ignited the flames. I'm like, I want to be a pro wrestler because this guy's awesome. I want to be like this guy. And I just was like, oh man, and I just kept watching it more and it falling off it. And Shawn Michaels was one of my all time favorites. I'm like, oh yeah, he's the boy toy. He's the Heartbreak Kid. Like this guy's so awesome. He's a great entertainer. He's a great wrestler. And it was just from that moment on, that really just set the wheels in motion. Yep.
Okay. So tell me, who are you trained by? Where'd you start training at? When you decided to become a pro wrestler, where'd you go?
I trained a lot of people. I was the first time I ever even took a bump was in a company called ACPW. Then I trained in a company called UCW. I trained with guys with Joe Gacy and Pinky Sanchez. I got to train with so many different guys. Also, when I went to Ace up in Jersey, when it was in Union City, I was training there for a long time. And DWF was kind of like my that's where I was at with Pinky. To kind of fine-tune me and made me. He even showed me even more. So I was trained by actually a lot of people.
Okay.
In my early stages, yeah.
Okay, so just a mishmash of training, so to speak.
Oh yes.
But that's good though, because in pro wrestling, no one person is the same. There's no one wrestling style that's the same. You can say this guy may work like this, but he does something different that may make him completely different. So that's great that you can actually say, you've learned from a vast variety of people. That makes you your own person.
Yeah, and I'm pretty different if you say my stuff. That's right.
Do they even still sell shake weights? Where do you get your plethora of shake weights? I heard that you got gold-plated shake weights and jewel-encrusted shake weights. Where do you get these from?
The jewel-crusted one's coming soon. I'm working on that. That's taking a while. I have sold out on shake weights. I still get requests here and now from fans saying they want a shake weight, and I'm actually sold out of shake weights. Right now, I usually would get them at a thrift store or something. I have to really go to one of my thrift stores and just, if they have them still. I was getting them on Amazon, but now Amazon, I guess they figured out that I was selling them and they upped the prices. So now it's $30, $40 for a shake weight, which is ridiculous. Yeah. So, I mean, if fans want to pay $50 for a shake weight, I don't know. But I had somebody pay $50 for a Shine shake weight. So, yeah.
I hear that. So with pro wrestling and with you being, Sizzling Stan, where do you see yourself going right now? I mean, you've been wrestling close to 10 years, close to a decade, with that short-term goal with pro wrestling, where do you see yourself now within the next couple of years? Do you see yourself traveling out further? Do you see yourself actually going into a major company? Tell us about that.
Yeah, I've really been busting my ass early 2017 to now. I've been traveling. I traveled to Washington a couple weekends ago, Washington State. I wrestled at California, so I've been doing a lot of West Coast stuff. Mm-hmm. Anywhere a company wants to see Stan Styles, I will give them my all, give them my heart, give them my shake weight, my whipped cream, all that. I just want to travel as much as I can, anywhere I can. Big promotions, there's so many big promotions I do want to wrestle for. Like, I'm really really looking to like the West Coast, like Hood Slam. Like, that'd still be perfect for me. And a 3-2-1 battle. Also, there's a lot of companies now in like Texas and Vegas. Oh, Stan Styles in Vegas would just be, oh my God, so nuts.
Your Stan Styles in Vegas would be amazing.
I don't know. Oh yeah. I'm getting excited. That's right. I don't know if you guys are Dragon Ball Z or super fans. I don't know about that, but I kind of want to post this on my social media that I want to be if you guys watched it, I want to be like the Android 17. Oh, I'm getting confused. I want to be the Android 17. I want to be the Android. That's the girl. Who's the guy?
No, I think 18 is the girl. 17 is the guy.
17 is the guy. 18 is the girl.
Yes. Okay. I want to be like the Android 17 of like the indie scene where it's like, how the fuck did this guy Stan Styles get so strong? Because when I watched Super the whole time, I'm spoiling it for people who didn't watch it. He got so fucking strong, and I'm like, what? Android 17. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, that's what I want people to say that about Stan Styles. Like, what the hell, Stan Styles? Holy crap! Like, this guy had this much potential this whole time. Like, that's what I want, and. Guys, I'm telling you right now, it's going to happen because some big things are coming real soon.
I hear that. Well, as soon as those big things come, you got to come back on the show and talk about them as an exclusive.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah, I will. That's right.
Definitely. So, tell me a little bit about Sizzling Stan Styles. Where do you get your persona from? I mean, I know we did say, you're big Shawn Michaels fan, which I can see the Shawn Michaels-esque in you, with the whole, ladies portion, the ladies man of it. But what made you go into this style of wrestling?
I just, a light bulb just went off. Like, I kind of say to myself, or I tell people, like, I'm the pants ripping, shake weight shaking, whipped cream licking son of a gun. And I love Ric Flair. Flair is one of my favorites. My old time favorite is Ravishing Rick Rude. I really mold myself after Rick Rude so much. Mm-hmm. So I think he was just the greatest of all time, in my opinion. Like, I feel like he should have been WWF champion. Like, he was just so good. Like, I watch his promos, his match. I'm like, oh, like, I just get every time I'm in awe of like Rick Rude, and I also have a lot of other favorites. But yeah, the character, I really, it's just a hard question to answer because it just keeps evolving, right? evolving, yeah. And I guess it's crazy because when I sit and think too hard, I'm like, but when I'm just like relaxed, or like after the gym where I'm just like all pumped, or just like any like random time, I was a light bulb. I'm like, oh, I could do this, I could do that. Like, I was even thinking I want to do the Prices That's Right and be like Bob Barker, but Stan Styles.
Okay. I mean, and for what you've already said, I can see everything that you said. I can see that. I can see the Ric Flair in it. I can see the Rick Rude, and I can see the Shawn Michaels in it. So now that you brought that to light, I can actually see where you came up with this. And what you're doing is money, man. It really is. Thank you. But that's definitely a good thing. I mean, it's something where you definitely want to market yourself, to be something that the fans want to see, or that a promoter wants to see.
Yes.
There's so many different, wrestling gimmicks out there, but you got to stand out. And like I said, with that shake weight and the whipped cream, dude, you completely stand out.
Yeah, I always say to myself, I don't ever want to be a cookie cutter wrestler. I want something different. That people, it's all about memories. Mm-hmm. And I want people to see like, wow, that guy, the pants or the shake weight, like and like my goofy comedy, my goofiness, and I can be, and that's why I say to a lot of people coming in, like a lot of new wrestlers, I tell them, you got to be versatile too, especially in the indies. Like, I can use my gimmick as babyface, heel, referee. I've refereed women's matches with my gimmick, like, and it shows promoters, hey, I'm the jack of all trades. I can do all this instead of this one thing. I can do many things.
Right. That's
like an
awesome.
onion. I have different layers of an onion.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's awesome. Well, I mean, at this moment in time, it's your time to shine. This is where we give you the microphone and you plug your Twitter, your Facebook, your Amazon account, where they can find you, where you're going to be at, all that information. This is your time right now.
Sell them shake weights.
Sell the shake weights.
I need to get more shake weight and t-shirts. I'm sold out of t-shirts too. Oh my goodness! This weekend, this Sunday, Mother's Day, I'll be in Glendale, West Virginia for Showtime Championship Wrestling Alliance. I'm the champion on there, and I'm going to be defending my championship belt against Grey Wolf. Tough challenge.
Oh, damn! Whoa! Hold on. We got to put the mic on pause for that one. You're wrestling Grey Wolf?
Yeah, it's not the first time either. I've wrestled him before.
And you're still breathing.
I'm still breathing. Yes. Oh, yeah.
It's that shake weight.
It's got to be the shake weight, dude.
Shake it off. I shake it off. Hey, Grey Wolf's a tough son of a bitch. He gave it all to me, but I gave it all back.
Listen,
and this match was so good, but it's in La La Land. It was recorded, but I can't get the match. He can't get the match. We're doing it again, and this time it's for my championship belt.
Oh,
and it's going to be amazing.
Oh my goodness! All right, well, continue on because that's just crazy. Oh my gosh, I got to watch that match somehow.
It's going to be on YouTube.
Definitely.
Social media account, Facebook.com, Sizzling Stan Styles, Twitter @the Sizzling One, Instagram Sizzling_Stan_Styles, and Amazon. I do have an Amazon, but I have no idea what my link is. So probably just search Sizzling Stan Styles, and I should come up. Booking email, sizzlingstan@gmail.com.
Cool beans. Well, thank you, sir. We truly appreciate you joining us on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, Sizzling Stan Styles, book this guy if you want some sexy, syrup slipping, whipped cream shaking, weight taking type of guy.
I will unleash shake weight Armageddon.
The shake weight Armageddon.
That's right.
No doubt. Thank you, sir. We truly appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
We'd like to thank Stan Styles for that great interview. Up next, it is an interview with Robby Starr.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know me, I know you, we know each other. Cyclone Jones in the building. Back again. Another TTRP interview with Pat G. The G stands for Gangsta. Pat G, tell them what it is.
Yes, another interview. And today we are joined by Robby Starr, another person from Ohio, and recently a Ohio heavyweight champion.
Well, thank you for joining us, sir. Please, tell us about yourself here.
Hey guys, what's going on? Thanks for having me. I'm Robby Starr. Like you said, I just won the Ohio Championship Wrestling Heavyweight title last night. It's big news on my end. I've been wrestling for 13 plus years, almost 14 now. Been around many states, actually: Ohio, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, New York, Indiana, all over, Tennessee, Kentucky. Been around, been a lot of places, done a lot of things, but, definitely toning it down a little bit later in my career, just sticking around Ohio lately.
Okay. So you said you won the heavyweight championship. At what company was this again?
It's OCW, Ohio Championship Wrestling.
Ohio Championship Wrestling. And who was the champion before you?
No Shame Jimmy Shane actually just won it last month. And then before that, Juice Jennings was the champion.
Someone that we know. Juice Jennings.
Juice Jennings, yeah.
Former buddy of one Jock Sampson.
Yes.
Jock Sampson gets around. That name just always...
It's Ohio. What do you expect?
But Jock Sampson is like our Kevin Bacon.
It is.
He's like our Kevin Bacon. We cannot escape Jock Sampson. Let me give you a quick rundown of who Jock Sampson is. I know you know who he is, but to TTRP who he is. He is actually the reason why. Is he the real reason why we got banned from the radio?
He's a small part of the reason, but there's other underlying factors. But he's a contributing factor.
He's a contributing factor.
The powers that be couldn't understand that wrestling is a act.
Yeah, but it's all good. We love Jock. But so that's good. Congratulations on your win. To the heavyweight championship. Now, you said you've been working for 13 years. That's a long time.
Yes.
Who trained you?
I was originally trained by Big Guns Jeff Cannon at the Big Guns Pro Wrestling Academy. It was actually based out of Coshocton, Ohio, and he owned Ohio Championship Wrestling at the time.
Okay. Okay.
OCW's been my home company for my whole career.
Oh, wow. Okay. Now, you said you've traveled all over, where have you recently been? Well, before you kind of slow down, because you said you're kind of slowing down, give us some names of some companies that you've been to where, you've made your mark and, wrestled some guys.
Well, a lot of making your mark, going to different places. I don't know about making your mark because in the independents, you can go in for a couple shows. If you're traveling far away, and it's hard for the promoters to bring you back because they usually have a set roster and guys that, are always there and always available, and they cost as much to bring in if you're traveling far. But I definitely, I've wrestled Southern Independent Wrestling Federation down in Kentucky and Tennessee, owned by the Cash Brothers. I'm not even sure if they're running anymore. I've wrestled out in Lima, Ohio, War Wrestling. Was there for a long, long time. I could probably say I made my mark there as one of the top tag teams out there with my former partner, Hot Commodity Matt Mason. New Ohio Wrestling down in Columbus area, Groveport, Grove City. They run down that area. That's a new company. They just had a big show at the Arnold Classic, big bodybuilding expo.
Okay.
Sports
the
expo
other
in
NOW.
Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of a big deal. I wrestled 7 matches in 2 days.
Oh, wow. Wow. Now,
That was crazy.
That sounds crazy. I mean, now with you being in the business 13 years, at what age did you start?
I actually started kind of late. Late for the wrestling business. I wish I would have started sooner. I was 24 when I started.
24?
Yeah.
That's I say, me personally, I say that's young to start the wrestling business because I say I started late. I mean, I started super late, and I've been doing this for 9 years, and I started at 33.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, that's super late.
Yeah, definitely. Guys get in it, all different ages. I know guys that have been in it longer than me, but they're younger than me. Mm-hmm. They started when they were like 16, 17 years old.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I mean, and that's crazy. I mean, so with you starting at a later age, being 24, and doing it for 13 years, but you, like you said, you've seen younger guys do it, and who are basically older than you in the business. How do you feel personally about the younger wrestlers either giving you advice or talking to you as a kind of like a veteran?
The question is, how do I feel about guys coming to me for advice?
Well, how do you feel about younger guys, starting the business earlier than you, 16, 15, 16, 15, and then them coming up in the business before you, 8 years in before you, and them being a vet, but you're kind of older than them?
Right. Well, that's a good question. My best answer to that is you never stop learning. I could have picked up something along the way and, taught, told what I learned to somebody that has been in the business a little longer, and they never were taught that. And vice versa, it always goes both ways. And, you learn different things. I mean, there's people on TV that are obviously way younger that are pulling off stuff that, I think I could do that. And, you go and try it. You get in a training ring and you try it and you can pull it off. So it's, it goes both ways, in my opinion.
Okay. Understandable. So with you being in the business 13 years, and you said you kind of pulled back a little bit, again, stating that, reiterating that, where do you see your career going from a 13-year standpoint? That's a long time. Like we just spoke to Tyson Dukes, who's been there for 21 years, and he laid out what he wanted to do. What do you see yourself doing, come towards the end of your wrestling career?
Well, you never say never in this business, and that's I've seen it happen so many different times with different people get different opportunities. I've sent my stuff into WWE. I can resend it and send it and send it and know the right person, be at the right place at the right time. And maybe I'll get a shot. Maybe I'll just do security for them or something like that. But I'm happy where I'm at now. If that doesn't ever happen, I've recently started taking over the head training duties at Spinebuster University for Ohio Championship Wrestling. I'm like a proud papa when I see some of my trainees, get to do things that, they're experiencing for the first time in front of a small crowd, or pulled off moves in training that look really, really good. Mm-hmm. It's a whole different kind of respect for the business that I've acquired being a trainer now.
Okay. So this is my question to you. And I ask this question every single interview. I think I ask it every single, almost. I got to get back to it. But my question is this. There's always that one moment in time before a pro wrestler becomes a pro wrestler that triggered them to want to be a pro wrestler. What was that one final moment for you? Like, I'll give you mine real quick. Just so that you understand. I was with my family. We're walking into a restaurant, and I looked at the TV, and on TV, Monday Night Raw was on, and The Rock was there in the middle of the ring doing a promo. And it was like 12 of us, and my whole family went to go sit down, and I'm stuck. Like, my feet rooted into the ground as I'm sitting here watching The Rock do this promo. And I said, there's no way in hell that he can do this and I can't do this. And I was just like stuck there, mesmerized. Every single pore in my body opened up to listen to what he was saying. That was that moment in time that I knew I had to be a pro wrestler. What was yours?
Oh, wow. I don't know if I have a moment quite like that. That's pretty intense. My story goes a little different. I always loved wrestling as a kid. I love the emotion it brought out of me. Like, I remember crying when Hulk Hogan lost to the Ultimate Warrior in WrestleMania 6. Mm-hmm. And I just kind of fell in love with that part of it. Like the ability to bring out emotion in people. And I honestly had no idea about, when I started, I had no idea really about the independent companies. And I just thought it was WWF and WCW at the time. I was working out one day, and this random girl came up to me, and she's like, "Have you ever thought about being a pro wrestler?" And I just kind of looked at her. I was like, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, "Well, you got a good look, and you look like you'd be athletic. I work for this company, down in Southern Ohio," and she was a valet at the time, and she just kind of approached me. And I thought she knew me because, as a kid and growing up, I did the backyard wrestling, jumping on the trampoline, stuff like that.
Right.
Messing around with friends, taping ourselves. We didn't do anything crazy like jump off roofs or hit each other with,
light bulbs,
glass, anything like that, or set each other on fire. But we were in it just to tape ourselves and act, goofy in front of the camera.
Right.
So I thought she knew me, and I just kind of was like, huh? And she told me about this school down in Coshocton, and she's like, yeah, they do free tryouts and this and that. And so a week later, I went down and checked it out, and Big Guns said that I had, the athletic ability, and he thought I had a good look, and I accepted the deal and started training, and 3 months later, I had my first match.
Oh, wow. 3 months in? Wow.
Yeah, I picked it up pretty fast. I was the fastest graduate he ever had. So.
Oh, wow. See, that's amazing. That's commendable, man. That's, that's good.
Thank you.
Yeah. But I mean, so with that being said, I'm trying to see where else do we go with this? Because there's so many things that we can say. But last thing, go ahead, Patrick.
Well, for someone that's been on the independents for 14 years, and this is kind of how you have your question about their moment. My tagline question has kind of been, where do you see independent wrestling going with the amount of good and the amount of bad that comes with it.
Okay.
Well, yeah, you have your ups and your downs in the independents. There's guys that shouldn't be in the ring, for sure. They haven't been trained properly. And then there's so much good, like so many guys are getting noticed now that are getting that shot, from the independents, and they're getting, called up to NXT and down there in Florida. So, as far as the question goes, I wish that the independents could weed out the bad ones, bad companies, bad vendors. But, anybody, can call them. They order a pair of boots online. They say they're, a pro wrestler now. So
that would be a perfect world, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, that's not the case. I would have got my start back in the olden days when it was, harder to get into.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely. That's something that always comes up. Is back in the days, it was so much harder to get into the pro wrestling business. Now it's just so easy. Just like you said, you can go to eLucha and get everything, and now you can claim to be a pro wrestler. Well, with that, we want to thank you for joining us. Truly appreciate it. But at this moment in time, this is your time to shine. This is your couple of minutes. Let promoter, not producers, promoters. Let promoters know where they can find you. Let the fans know where they can see you on Facebook, get your videos. This is your time to shine. Go for it.
Okay, I appreciate that. My name's Robby Starr, Robby Superstar. I am on Twitter, Instagram at Robby Starr 117. That's Robby Starr with a Y and 2 R's, 117. Facebook is just Robby Starr. That's my athlete page, and I'm definitely on wrestling for Ohio Championship Wrestling, New Ohio Wrestling, and World Classic Professional Big Time Wrestling. They have a big super show this weekend coming up down in Circleville, Ohio. So that there's going to be some legends there, and I'm going to be a part of that big fan fest and big event down that way. So if you guys want to come see me this weekend, that's where I'll be.
Definitely appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, Robby Starr, the new OCW heavyweight champion. Thanks, Robby.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
We'd like to thank Robby Starr for joining us. Up next is an interview with Paragon.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know me, I know you, we know each other. Cyclone Jones in the building. Back again. Paggy. The G stands for gangster. Paggy, tell him what it is.
It's another special interview from the TTRP, and today we are joined by the demigod, Paragon.
Hello out there, my fellow worthy worshippers.
Listen, man. You do it how you want to do it. You want to talk to the TTRP fan and fan mail. Definitely talk to him in your demigod voice. If you want to talk to him in a regular voice where these puny mortals can understand you, then by all means, you do what you do.
I mean, you have to. You speak too highly, and some of the uneducated, unwashed, and inbred minds, they just don't understand the hierarchy of my intellect and my dialect. So I have to be a little bit more simple for them.
Just kind of water it down a little bit. I love my TTRP fans, Turnbuckle Talk Radio Podcast fans. Some of them are kind of slower because I talk a little bit too fast for them or too educated for them at times. But, you gotta love them anyway. They still stay dedicated and still love to listen.
Most definitely.
But let's get started, sir. Thank you for joining us. Truly do appreciate it. With that being said, Paragon, the demigod.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
That's something different right now.
Well, one, I want to just give you the actual origin of where the name came from.
Yes.
So, believe it or not, it feels like almost 10 years ago, I was sitting in my freshman class in high school, and we had to read Shakespeare's What a Piece of Work is Man.
Mm-hmm.
And the teacher says, and you have to find a word that you don't understand, you don't know what the word means, you don't know whatever, and you have to find the definition and the etymology and the origin and stuff like that. And so, I'm reading it, and what a piece of work is man, and then I see it say the paragon of animals. And I'm like, what does this word paragon mean? It's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
One of my friends was like, I think it's a shape. No, it's a dinosaur. And I'm like, y'all shut y'all stupid asses up. So I looked the word up, and the word means the model of excellence and perfection.
Oh, wow.
And so I heard that, and I was like, wow. And I looked at the etymology of it. And in Greece, the paragon word coming from Greece, in English, that's when they decided to make it. But in Greece, it was the stone that was used to sharpen swords.
Mm.
And so, back in the day, if you wanted your sword to be strong, to be sharp, to be powerful, you had to use the paragon
right.
in order to make it so.
Right. And it's also said that the paragon is actually sharper than or stronger than the sword itself.
Exactly. And so, it's not a matter of iron sharpening iron. No, it's the paragon sharpening everything around it. And still, you have to go back to the paragon in order to gain some power. It's like, when you look at the dwarves that form, Thor's hammer. 'Cause I'm a nerd, so. But it's like you had to take a greater power to form a great power.
Right.
And so, just hearing that etymology and that meaning behind it, I was like, yo, this is what I aspire to be. And then after a while, I'm like, I don't aspire to be it because I am it, It's
mm-hmm.
like you have to speak into existence what you want to be true as well as what you know to be true. And I know that, everything that I have done to get me to where I am right now has not been a mistake. It has been a calculated risk, but it was a risk that paid off.
Wow.
And so I think about that, and I live my name every single day, whether it's me trying to help people or better people or whatever. I'll even tell people that when you're in that ring with me, bring me your best. I want nothing else but your best. And if you don't, I'm going to capitalize and I'm going to hurt you, because you being in that ring with me, like the paragon I am, I'm going to help sharpen you. I'm going to help strengthen you. I'm going to help bring the best out of you. If you and I are cutting promos back and forth, you better come with your best promo, because if you're not, I had a promo with one guy, who's a buddy of mine a couple months back. And one of my friends who saw our promo was like, you're embarrassing this guy. Like you're saying stuff and you're embarrassing him. And I'm like, it's because he thought that he could just, have fun with me. And I'm like, if you're going to want to do funny, I can do funny. But I come from a family of roasters. So, I'm like,
that's that hood right there.
Oh, most definitely. Hood and country, because I got some country folk, too. And, I had one of my cousins tell me, boy, you're shaped like a pit bull with your strong neck, weak-eared self. I'm like, I don't even know what that means, but I'm offended. What is wrong with you? We're supposed to be related. You just going to say something like that to me? But I use it, when I'm working a crowd, and I'm healing it up. I had to work a crowd in Crawfordsville, Indiana for a promotion called NGW. They're like my second home. They welcomed me. They brought me in, back when, some people were like, we're not giving this kid a shot. NGW was like, you finish your training, could walk through our doors, and we have something waiting for you. And I'm working in front of this crowd,
mm-hmm.
and my matches hasn't even started yet. We're having to set up the ring. But because the ring showed up late, and we're having to set up this ring, the audience is already in the arena.
Ooh.
So I'm like, well, I'm still Paragon if you're in the building.
Yep.
So I'm setting up the ring, I'm talking trash, and I'm talking trash to the other workers in the room, and these fans are saying crap, and they're like, look at this guy, and I wear what my friend likes to call an MVP style bodysuit. I've tweaked it to give it my own character, my own design. It's almost like a perfect cross between like a Pharaoh and a Power Ranger.
Yeah. Yep.
But and so this lady is over here staring at my butt the whole time, and she goes, that's just disgusting. This is a family show. And so I look behind over my shoulder, almost like the Rock style. I like to scoff at her. She goes, oh, you gonna scoff at me? And I'm like, maybe you quit looking at my backside. Your husband would be getting jealous right there. He goes, I'm not jealous. So I start, flexing my butt muscles. I'm like, you're not jealous because you're enjoying the show too. And he goes, don't you talk to me like that. I said, first of all, how long have y'all been related and how long have y'all been married? What? And I'm like, because y'all are both the product of what happens when kissing cousins get drunk at a family reunion, get a little too comfortable, and they make meth mouth inbred children like yourselves. And his mouth is just gasped right now. And I'm like, now, let me go back to setting up this ring so you can enjoy watching me. I'm not here to see you. I'm like, do you not pay for your ticket? am I not on the poster, then you literally came to come see me. You paid money to come see me. So sit in your seat and be quiet before I show you while you're in the stands and I'm in this ring.
Yeah.
And I'm just shooting the breeze. Like that's just my Monday, you know. I'm just, talking nuts. I'm like, it's the same thing with the fans. I love fans who can give it right back to me, because if you give it right back to me, then there you go. I sharpened you up, and now you can go on to work the next day. And when Dale is telling you you're pitching hay wrong, you can tell Dale that literally he has weak ears and a strong neck, looks like a pit bull. See, there you go, right there. I gave you something to you.
See, I don't like you already. And the reason why I don't like you already is because you're from Cleveland, and that's what Shane Taylor did to me. The very first time I met Shane Taylor, I'm sitting in the crowd, because I just started my wrestling career. I was probably like 3 years in at the time, and I went to RCW, I believe it was. And I'm sitting in the crowd, and of course, I'm trying to get the crowd into it, because I'm a plant right now. And Shane Taylor comes out, and I start talking about him, and he roasted me. I mean, bad. I'm like, I sat down. I was quiet the rest of the match. And I went backstage and shook his hand like, yo, you my boy now.
That's the thing. It's like people don't understand. See, people look at Cleveland as if Cleveland is like this terrible city, which honestly, if you've been to Cleveland, especially in the past 10 years, it's actually very beautiful. It's a very beautiful place. I love it. I love going home whenever I can. But like people look at us, they're like, oh, it's Cleveland. Y'all got the Browns, and LeBron about to leave y'all. When's the last time the Indians won anything? And like they love to down Cleveland, And I'm like, but the thing is, Cleveland has heart. Mm-hmm. And so when you have heart and you spend most of your life being the underdog, it's like you got to learn how to, throw some punches back. The thing is, in Cleveland, you don't get to be the underdog. You got to be both the under and the overdog, Mm-hmm. So you got to be able to throw punches, sneak somebody. So, like, if you in the audience, you try to roast somebody from Cleveland, like, let's put it like this. So, like I said, I'm from Cleveland, right? Cleveland, Northern Ohio. And there's a city in Ohio called Lorain, Ohio.
Right. Yep.
And so my cousin from Lorain, he was hanging out with me in Cleveland, and he thought that he could, come up here and start roasting my friends. I backed away, said, this is all you got this. So he's trying to roast my friends. Now, my cousin is the most hyper-masculine, machismo, dude you ever think, and blue collar at that, too. Mm-hmm. So he's all like, and there's nothing you can say to hurt my feelings. I've never seen a grown man cry so fast in my life when he's not watching The End of Pursuit of Happiness.
That's crazy. That is crazy. See, I can't.
You're like, you're my family. You're supposed to defend me. Now, I warned you. Mm-mm. You ain't family today, because they ain't going to jump on me. Mm-mm. I'm like, I can hold my own, but I'm like, that's 6 Clevelanders against 1 in the Lorain guy. You already had me losing 2 points myself when you beat Lorain.
Oh, that's crazy. But
I've worked shows in Lorain, so I know what he's talking about.
Oh, yeah. See, that's just crazy. I can't do it. But so I just can't. But tell me a little bit. So how long have you been wrestling for? How long, you've been in the business, and who trained you?
Okay, so I'll be real with you guys. I've only been in the business for 6 months.
What?
But in the 6 months, I have been gaining some traction. I've got some great opportunities. This past March, I worked the Arnold Classic with NOW Wrestling.
NOW, yeah.
Yeah, they are my home. That is my home promo. I love those guys. Like I said, I got to work the Arnold Classic, went 7-1 in the Arnold Classic tournament against some of the best that Ohio has to offer. And not even just Ohio, the Midwest and America, all together. I got to work with guys like Jock Sampson and Matt Taylor and Brian Douglas and Onyx, which that dude, if you know who Onyx is and if you don't know who Onyx is, you need to figure out who he is. It's not only the dude big, but he's strong. Literally, I call him Buff Blade.
I've heard of Onyx.
He got the whole blade thing going across the arms and the tattoo with the sunglasses. And when he spears you, you think your sphincter's going to fly out your body.
I mean,
he's not even puckered. He just says, I'm good. You good, bro.
I'm good.
Right here.
And I'm relaxed.
And then, I also am going to be working Warped Tour in Michigan when Warped Tour comes through Michigan. So I've been blessed with many opportunities. I've been blessed to be mentored and being able to confide in many great people. I just came back from a show in Camden, Delaware, this morning. Like, I did the show last night and literally hit the road right after the show. And I've been blessed with opportunities, and people will see me work. They'll give me tips. Hell, Ron Simmons, Farouk himself, WWE Hall of Famer, watched my match, told me, he's like, for a green guy, I like the way you move in that ring. There's some things you can work on, you know, 'cause you're green. But I know that you got some stuff really put together right there. So you got this whole thing that you got going on. I like it. I like the look. I like the way you do things. I like the way you move in the ring. I like that you got these moves that you really know how to do really well. He's like, so keep on working on it because you're gonna be something one day. You just gotta keep on working. That's the problem with these green guys. And he started going on a tangent about what's wrong with these kids these days. I felt like I was watching a Tyler Perry movie for a second.
Yo, you actually sound like him.
Well, I do impressions. So it's just one of my things. I try to get a voice that rings in me, you know, especially because when I was younger and when he was still on TV, and damn, like that was my thing, you know?
That's what I wanted you to do right there. No doubt.
He was probably the most cool guy I've gotten to meet so far, you know, who has a huge name. Because he's the cool thing about him is he said to me this himself from his mouth. If you are a vet who's not willing to help teach and better the young guys coming in, then you never belonged in this business.
Wow.
And there's a guy that I've been blessed enough to travel with. He and I actually currently have a feud that is basically expanding currently in 4 states. We started in Ohio and then in Delaware, and then we have a show in 2 weeks in Kokomo, Indiana, and then we're going to have another one in West Virginia. We might be hitting up North Carolina. So me and this guy are traveling together in this feud going, you know, back and forth. It started off weird because I was the heel in Ohio, and now I'm the face everywhere else.
Okay.
It's funny because, you know, I'm a shit talker, but I'm shiny, so kids like me.
Yeah.
I see the purple and gold, you know. I had one kid yell, "It's morphin' time!" I'm like, "Yes, it is, little dude." Yeah. You're a worthy worshiper right now. Here's a worthy worshiper handshake. Now, don't show anybody that they're not worthy. You know? Okay. Literally, if you ever seen the show Community, it's just the Troy and Abed handshake that ends in Wakanda forever, so it's not even like original at all.
Super cool. Oh goodness, but wow, I mean that's crazy. 6 months in. But
6 months, and I've been blessed. But you know what? I say with that 6 months, the reason that I feel that, because I'm not going to call myself talented, because greatest thing I've been told is when you believe your own hype, and that's when you fall off, and Shane Taylor told me that. Mm-hmm. But he said, but you know where your strengths are. And the thing is, I've been able to be blessed with certain strengths, and not just the Paragon, but, you know, myself on the personal side of Paragon. I'm constantly trying to evolve as a person and constantly try to better myself. Mm-hmm. And so I try to do the same thing in the ring, and I take calculated risks. I have an MMA background, you know, and so I want to do submissions and suplexes and stuff. But then again, I'm like, you know, let me push my limits and let me go to the top rope this day. Last night, I did a handspring roaring forearm.
Wow.
Never did it before in my life. I just went for it, you know, and I did a handspring roaring forearm. Yep. And I was like, and it worked. And it got a huge pop, and I was like, I'm going to keep that in my arsenal now because I know it works. But, you know, it's been paramount that, you know, in using, you know, words that have P-A-R-A in them, you know, because the word, if you're not worthy, you're a parasite. So that's the thing.
Yo, that's sweet. I like that.
But it's paramount that I have been blessed to come across so many great people. And whether it was I came across them before I stepped in the ring, which I feel kind of sets me apart slightly with me and other green guys. Not saying I'm better than any green guy, but I do have the advantage of before I stepped in the ring, I had my gear already sketched out and designed. Paragon has been in the workings and in the making with name, persona, and everything since I was 12 years old. You know, so this isn't something I just, after a few months I decided I was Paragon. No, Paragon is me. This is that's why I don't like when people say like Paragon your gimmick. No, that's my persona. He's an extension of me.
Right.
But also I got to contact and meet people like if you ever heard the worker Owen Travers, he's a great friend of mine. He works out of he came out like myself. We both came out of House of Truth, but he's been working in like Vegas and California and Texas. Owen Travers is a great guy.
I've heard the name.
Oh, you got to watch his stuff. If you ever get a chance, the guy can work, the guy can go. And he gave me some great advice. Ezekiel Jackson, Silas Young, Keith Lee, Cedric Alexander. Because I messaged these guys. I found them on Facebook and stuff like that. And I messaged these guys, and I was like, hey, can you give a future guy who's going to be in the business some advice? And the best advice I was given, it was like some of them gave me paragraphs and stuff, you know, gave me a whole bunch of advice and stuff. And I think the best advice I was given was very simple. Ezekiel Jackson said, make sure you want this.
Wow.
Very simple. It was just straight to the point. That's all he sent to me. We've had other conversations on maybe his Facebook posts and stuff like that, but directly, the only conversation I've had with him was I asked him for some advice as a young black guy, as a young POC in this business. What is something that you could tell me or to help, me get ready for this journey I'm about to embark on? And he said to me, make sure you want this. And that has resonated with me so tough because every time, it gets hard, you have to make the long drives. You have to, even when you're in training and you don't know how to bump properly, and so you're trying to bump and, this hurts. And through all the pain, through all the travel, I'm from Ohio, and I was staying in an Airbnb in Warren, Michigan, just so that way I could ride to Centerline, Michigan, to make my dream come true, to say that I finished professional wrestling. And at the House of Truth, just another plug for House of Truth, great training center. I believe they are part of the reason why I've been blessed with some of the tools I have in the ring. They actually are the reason I've been blessed with the tools I have in the ring. But I never had a day where I was like, I don't want to do this. I took my first bump and it hurt like hell. And I landed on my neck and I got back up and it was like, please, sir, may I have some more?
Nice.
Because I knew that this was my lifeblood. And then when I first stepped in the ring and I had my first match, and then I didn't have a match for like 2 whole weeks afterwards, I felt vulnerable and naked for the first time in my life. And I couldn't understand why I was sad and I was upset. And I was even going through depression. And I couldn't understand what was going on. And then I realized for the first time in life, I had truly felt at home. It wasn't those 4 years in college. It wasn't, my 20 years of acting on stage. It wasn't, doing anything else I've ever done. I felt and I feel at home in that ring. So being away from it, it bothers me and it hurts me. And so I've noticed that I'm constantly doing whatever I can to make this not just my dream, but my reality. I don't want it to be a dream come true. I want it to be a reality sealed.
True.
And I think, honestly, it all comes to having certain people in my life, especially there's 2 people who have been with my wrestling journey since I was like, hey, blah, 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 I want to do this. One of them, his working name is Justin Myers, and he's working out of Indiana. He's actually the one that got me on the NGW show in Indiana. Okay. And Congo Kong Steve Wilson.
Congo Kong, good dude.
Oh, great dude. He's probably the best guy to work with because he just smells so nice.
Yes!
Big dudes out there. There's some big dudes out there and you work with them and you're like, God, I gotta work with
Yes! Yeah, that is so funny.
Lavender and Hope.
That is so funny you said that. He came and worked for us for a show here, Riverworks Wrestling.
Yep.
And, gave him the handshake, and I'm like, dude, you smell good as hell.
And he probably was like, I get that a lot.
Yeah, and it's so soft-spoken, too. Cool dude. He's a cool dude.
Who do you don't want to piss off? He threatens to kill me every time he sees me, and then he gives me a hug afterwards. So it's a very, abusive relationship. He'll see me, and he'll be like, what the hell you doing here? You ain't trained. What you mean you trained the House of Truth? Who trained you? Man, come here. Puts me in a headlock, tells who made your gear? Anybody ever make your gear that's not me, I'm going to kill. And give me a hug. How you been? I ain't seen you in a while, but I'm so confused. I don't know.
Oh, goodness.
There's no one here beside me. I get so weird.
Eddie Murphy. That was the Eddie Murphy right there.
Yeah.
Pat, you didn't even know that, did you? You didn't know. That was a famous black man he just did. You didn't even know that.
I was about to say it was Eddie Murphy from the line from Shrek. Before you cut me off.
He got Shrek, okay? You don't know me from no other movie but Shrek. That's the only thing you know me from, okay? I've been in every other movie that you didn't see in life, okay? And the only thing you know me from is Shrek.
Pluto Nash.
Okay? That's the reason you don't know what's going on in life, okay? I was in Beverly Hills Cop, okay? I was in another vessel, okay? I was in 48 hours. Y'all just don't know. You don't know. Y'all they look like Kevin Hart. That's the problem.
That is amazing. Like, dude, you have a plethora of different skills, man, and that's awesome right there. So definitely, this can go on for a while, but unfortunately, we got to end it. So at this moment in time, it is your time to shine. This is where I give you the microphone and you just completely tell all the promoters out there where they can find you, where fans can find you, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, all that good stuff. The mic is yours, sir.
Thank you. Well, as you know, my name is Paragon. You can find me on Instagram at @the_Paragon. If you want to add me on Facebook, you can get me at Paragon Chris James on Facebook. That's my actual personal page. I have no issue adding fans on my personal page because I feel like my fans are my family. So as long as you're not, sliding in my DM trying to get free stuff and sending me, dick pics, everything's cool. You believe I've had a bunch of them. And I'm just like, I just don't want to see that, Toto. I'm not cool. Also, you can follow me on Twitter and Snapchat, and that is at the Paragon23, all one thing. And if you want to see me live, follow my stuff. Follow me on social media. I'll be at AACW May 19th. I'll be at DSW on the 2nd of June. I'm constantly, working. I'm constantly traveling. I'll be in Detroit. I'll be in Indiana. I'll be in Ohio. I'll be in West Virginia, Delaware. If you want to see Paragon, if you want to see what all this hype about, or if you want to boo at a black guy who thinks very highly of himself, then bring your behind to the show. Trust me, I'll be more than happy to personally point you out, not to give you a hug or talk about why your shoes look like they're older than Lazarus. It's just it'll happen. It'll happen.
It'll happen. Well, thank you, sir. Truly appreciate it. Fun time today. You know how we end the interviews, ladies and gentlemen. Cyclone!
We'd like to thank Paragon. Up next is the queen of the silver screen, Katie Arquette.
Welcome to another edition of the TTRP, and once again, we are here bringing you great interviews. I am now joined by the queen of the silver screen, Katie Arquette.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Well, we're here today, Fremont, Ohio, LPW, and you, Ms. Arquette, have had a challenge of sort the last couple of months from the Hollow Queen herself, Avarice Gloom.
Yes, I have. She's something. She's a little scary, but I've managed to get in and out of the ring safely.
Safely is always a good thing. Now, after last month, you did pick up the victory, of course. And she attacked you after the fact. And you were rescued, so to speak, by
Benjamin Boone.
Yes, the LPW's resident bachelor.
Yes.
And then Avarice Gloom decided to have her own muscle come out.
Yeah, I don't know who he is or why he decided to come out of nowhere, but I thought it was a little surprise.
Definitely. Well, this evening at LPW, you are teaming with the Bachelor himself and taking on Avarice and her tag team partner, who's unnamed,
right,
and everything. What do you have in store for Avarice tonight? Because you've been able to get the upper hand on her the last two meetings you've had.
Right. Well, I've definitely learned from the first encounter we've had, and I was able to show everything I had the second time around, and it landed a victory for me. So I think with Boone and I, we're definitely going to show them up and show that we are the power couple here. And, they're going to learn not to come out of surprises and stay in the dark side where they belong.
Very cool. Well, switching gears to your own career. Mm-hmm. Now, for the people out there that don't know who you are, you've been mainly wrestling in the Northeast, New York, PA, Ohio, and everything.
Yes.
How long have you been working?
About a year, a little over a year.
Okay. How did you get into, what made you want to get involved in pro wrestling?
Well, like many professional wrestlers, you start off as a fan and you love watching everyone and you get all these great ideas of that's what I want to do when I grow up. And that really wasn't the case for me. I've always been a fan at heart and it's always been something that's in the back of my mind. And then one day I said, you know what? I'm actually going to do this. I want to try it. And I went for my tryout and it was one of the best things I ever did.
Now, where did you go to try out?
ICWA. It's the school under IWC in Pittsburgh.
Okay. Now, who did you train with?
Chris LaRusso.
Oh, wow. Okay. I've come across him. He's a good guy.
Oh, yeah.
Now, of course, you being a fan and everything. Mm-hmm. In the year that you've been working, what have you come across as a positive about pro wrestling and something that's a negative, especially on the independent scene, where the independents right now are booming because you have so many options, so many places,
right.
And you see guys making their way to bigger venues and bigger companies.
Right. Well, there's definitely a ton of positives and a ton of negatives, especially in the indie circuits. Definitely some positives. You have good locker rooms. You have good people there, and they're always willing to critique and help, and, you know, especially for people who are so new in the business, you know, and that's one of the great things about it, especially when you do get a crowd that is as active as they are, and they boo and they cheer and they get behind the faces and against the heels. I guess some negatives, a part of it would be, you know, you have bad matches, you have good matches, and it's a learning curve, you know, it's a whole learning experience. So if you get out in the ring and you don't do as best as you had hoped you would, you know, you learn from it. So there's a small negative to it, but a bigger upside to it.
Well, you being a year in, and first you saying you're a fan and everything, who were some of the influences that you had coming up being a fan that may be influencing your work in the ring today?
Well, my all-time favorite wrestler is Kane. I don't know, it was a love at first sight type of deal watching him come out for the first time when I was younger. So just his presence, where he doesn't have to say much to make a big presence about himself, you know, a good perspective. And then I loved people like Lita and like the badassery she had. And you have Edge, like that's where I get my spear from. He's the person I look at whenever I do these powerhouse moves. And I mean, you have John Cena too. Like he's, whenever people who don't know anything about wrestling, when you say, oh, WWE, they go, oh yeah, John Cena. So he's always a good character to refer to.
The thing that we've even said it, me and my co-host, that John Cena today is essentially this era's Hulk Hogan.
Oh,
like,
most
if
definitely.
you're not a wrestling fan, you hear the name John Cena, you're going to go, oh, that's the wrestling guy. Yeah. Same as everybody did in the 80s with Hulk Hogan.
Right.
Now, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years as far as your career?
In the next 5 years, well, it's hard to say. You never know, especially in wrestling, especially in the indies. But I mean, in the next 5 years, I hope to see myself, you know, at least making my way through the U.S. and, you know, going through each state and trying to make more of a name for myself. So people know, like, oh, when you hear LuFisto, you know who that is.
Yes.
This crazy woman who, you know, you're afraid to step in the ring with her because she made such a great name for herself. So I see myself traveling more, networking more, and definitely making a name for myself.
Now, is there anybody out on the independent scene as far as the women's division, women's wrestler, that you've encountered that you may want to get in the ring with? Kind of like your quote unquote like matches you want to have in your career.
Right. Well, I've never really encountered with her, but I would love to have a match with Chelsea Green, aka Laurel Van Ness. She is crazy and wild, and she's very like temperamatic, and I think her and I would clash very well together, and we would put something on that the crowd would get behind.
Oh, definitely. I've seen what Laurel Van Ness can do, Chelsea Green, and I've seen what you can do and everything. That right there would be a prime match for somebody.
Oh, definitely.
Now, where are some of the places that you have been working over the last year?
Over the last year, I've worked at several different promotions. For one, here at LPW, IWC, where I trained, PWR up in Erie, PA. I've worked at Black Diamond, which works throughout West Virginia and Ohio. But those are the main places that I've been and that I stay at a majority of the time, along with WBW in Toledo, Ohio.
Well, you said you want to expand your horizons and kind of travel across the U.S. Are there promotions that you know of that are out there that you'd like to maybe get to at some point?
Nothing specific. I always hear good things about the South, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky. A few great promotions out in California, not as great as the East Coast.
Of course.
But nothing specific, but definitely ones that I have friends who work at and would love to, you know, jump in the car and drive down and just to get to meet some of those people and some of those promoters to, you know, maybe get a spot out there.
Okay. Well, wrapping up here, if you mentioned Chelsea Green, Laura Van Ness. Is there anybody that you've already faced that you've had a good match against, maybe not come out on top, that you'd like to kind of have another match with now that you're a little bit more experienced, you've got a little bit more under your belt and everything?
Well, definitely Britt Baker. She was my first match, and I would love to go one-on-one with her again 1 year later to see how far I've grown and to see what chemistry we can do.
Oh, absolutely, because she's been tearing things up over the last year.
Yes, and she's done a lot for herself. She's grown. She's progressed in all great ways, and I would love to be in the ring with her one more time.
One more time, and especially now having that year under your belt where you now know more about yourself and who you are and whatnot, and could possibly put together a better match than what you had the first time around.
Exactly.
Well, at this time, this is where we give you the floor to promote yourself, your Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, how promoters can get in touch with you for bookings and all that.
Okay, well, definitely all social medias. I'm on Facebook at Katie Arquette, Twitter at the KT Arquette, just the 2 letters. And then on Instagram as the Katie Arquette. Definitely give me a like, tweet, share, and follow.
Awesome. Well, we'd like to thank you, Katie, for joining us today. That was the queen of the silver screen, Katie Arquette. Any final words for the fans out there?
Never give up. Always have fun and come see the shows.
All right. That's Katie Arquette. This is the Turnbuckle Talk Radio podcast. Keep listening. We'll hit.
And a big thank you to Katie Arquette. Up next is Karam Izat.
Welcome back to the TTRP Turnbuckle Talk Radio podcast. And once again, we are bringing you great interviews. We are here joined by an up-and-coming superstar here at Live Pro Wrestling LPW in Fremont, Ohio. I'm going to let this man introduce himself because you may know him as a name already, but it's changing.
So I was formerly known as Salem Ash, but I'm going to stick more to my roots. So my name now is Karam Izat.
So you're changing your name and sticking more to your roots. When you say sticking more to your roots, what exactly roots are you talking about?
So I come from a Lebanese background. I'm an Arab American, and at first I thought I should hide that, but now I'm embracing it and showing who I really am.
Very cool, very cool. Now, you've been here at LPW for a few months, kind of in and out in that, but you have made a name for yourself.
Oh, appreciate that.
And everything, because the LPW crowd does react to you. They do cheer for you, so they know who you are. And everything. You have that following. What's your goals for LPW?
Like everyone else, man, to reach the top, to be the best that I can be. I hope one day, and I do believe that I can be champion. I have all the skills required to be, and I have the confidence in myself. So I don't see how I can not reach the top.
Very true. And there's a lot of top talent here at LPW. You have Aaron O'Ryan. You have Nate Matson.
Absolutely.
You have Superman Lover. You have Tim Horner Jr.
And you have Karam Izat.
You do. You do. Now, how long have you been kind of working in the wrestling business?
So, honestly, I'm fairly new. It's a little bit under a year. I was dealing with a knee injury.
Okay.
But so I took a couple months off. I'm back and stronger than ever. So I'm going to show the crowd tonight at LPW what I'm really capable of.
That's awesome. Now, I'm sure you, like everybody else, fan of wrestling growing up, kind of.
Yeah.
What was the moment that you kind of decided this is the path you wanted to go on?
So I've always been a fan. I remember the first match that I watched. It was 2000. I believe it was the Royal Rumble. It was Triple H versus Cactus Jack. And I remember when I saw Triple H, wow, man, just he had that look, that long hair. He looked like a wrestler. Mm-hmm. And that was always the idea in my head. And then when I got older, I stayed into lifting. I got into powerlifting and I got into theater.
Okay.
So those two together, kind of worked.
Mashed.
Yes, exactly. So I've always been a fan and I've always been passionate about entertaining. So now that I've been trained, I love it. I'm so passionate about it.
Where did you go to train, and who did you train with?
So I originally trained with Xavier Justice out in Flint, and then I was on the road with Aaron Orion a lot, and he taught me a lot on the road and things to look out for. Now I'm currently a student at the Can-Am Dojo in Windsor, Canada, and I'm Scott Damore's student. Oh
wow, okay, Scott Damore, that's a name right there.
Yes.
And the names that he's been associated with.
Yes, and I'm very thankful that he did, allow me to come to his school and train, and I try to help out the most I can at his shows.
Oh, of course. Now, you've been a little under a year. You took some time off because of knee injury and everything. Where do you see your career kind of in the next 5 years?
So I don't really think like that. Okay. I really take it one step at a time. So when
which is a solid way to be.
Right. Everyone wants to go, Impact or WWE and things like that. But, I performed in front of 100 people. Then the next goal is 300 people. Then what's the next goal? 500 people. Then what's the next goal? BCW. Okay. And then, things like that. So I always have these small goals. It keeps me motivated. And, those little things are important to me because I feel like these are the memories that we're making, to reach the top. And, performing in front of 50 to 100 people, I'm going to always remember and cherish that because that's where we started from.
Absolutely. Now, in your time of wrestling and everything, what are some of the positives you've seen that you've come across, and maybe what are some of the negatives?
The positive things, it's very easy to name the positive things just because you're doing what you love to do. You're getting paid for what you're passionate about. And I'm getting goosebumps actually just thinking about that. We're living a dream. And I think people forget that sometimes because, bad things, there are like some... When you're green, you got to go through a little bit of the
quote unquote earn your dues.
Right, or earn your dues. And you do go through that. And sometimes it does suck, but it's worth in the end. And you understand it and you appreciate that. So I really don't see anything negative about it. Yeah, you're going to come across people, and you're going to come across bad people and good people, and that's with any career choice. And, so I have no complaints. I'm very thankful for where I'm at right now.
Well, in your time in pro wrestling, who's on the maybe independent scene right now that you know of that you'd like to get in the ring with?
Oh man, that would have to be Jake something. Jake something, I watched him before I even started working, and we're both big powerhouses, so I really think we could shake the roof.
Kind of have that typical powerhouse big man.
Yeah. So Jake something, if you're hearing this, I'm calling you out, boy.
He just might. Now, of course, you've been making a name for yourself here at LPW. And you've been working up with Scott Damore School and everything.
Yes.
Where are some of the places that you have traveled to?
So I live in Detroit, Michigan. Okay. So I've been to Ohio, West Virginia. I train in Canada, so I do go, and I haven't worked there yet, but I am up there a lot. Buffalo, New York. And later this year I will be in Georgia. That's
expanding.
Yeah, just slowly but surely, man. Like I said, I'm in no rush, and I'm just really taking one step at a time and enjoying the experience to get better.
Now, like you said the Triple H Cactus Jack from Royal Rumble 2000. Yeah. Who are besides Triple H? Who are some of the other influence you had, kind of growing up, maybe wrestling?
I was in that era that ruthless aggression era where I would watch
post era.
I was very young. I'm only 22 years old. I was born 96 when it started.
Yeah.
So I kind of have to go back. And
I could say go back to watch.
Right. So I could say Stone Cold and stuff like that, but I didn't really grow up with them. I looked at Batista, Edge, Randy Orton, all of these cool dudes, Rey Mysterio. And
you looked at the current.
Yes. Right.
Four guys.
Yeah, John Cena too, man. All those people caught my eye, and they're the ones that really created that passion for me.
Well, going back, you said you set goals for yourself, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you say 100 crowd, 200 crowd, 300 crowd, so on. What are your next few goals for the next couple of months that you have for yourself?
Obviously, to prove myself right here in LPW, to prove myself to Scott Damore, prove myself wherever I go. I want to show everyone the best that I can be, and how good I can be. So it's really just it's simple, man. Just striving to be the best.
Oh, absolutely. Well, at this time, we usually give our guests the floor to promote themselves, their social media, where bookers can get in contact with them if they want to get them on their shows. So the floor is yours.
Absolutely. You could search me up at Karam Ash on Facebook, and then Karam_326 on Instagram.
Well, that's great. Now, any final words that you have for the listeners out there? Maybe some advice for maybe even some up-and-comers that are just now starting out?
Well, how about, because I'm green myself, if anybody who's been in the business longer than me, if you have any advice, feel free. But, other than that, man, you stay tuned and give me a follow, because I promise you, you're gonna like what you see, and you're gonna be impressed. And if you book me in that show, I promise you're gonna book me again.
Well, thank you for joining us. That was Karam Arquette here on the TTRP. We'll be back after these messages.
We'd like to thank Karam Arquette for joining us. Up next is Billy Masters.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know me, I know you, we know each other. Cyclone Jones in the building. Back again, another interview, TTR, Turnbuckle Talk Radio Podcast. Pat G, tell them what it is.
Yes, another edition of the TTRP, and we're joined by another special guest. Today, it's Billy Masters.
Billy Masters, sir, thank you for joining us. Please, say something to the TTRP fans.
What's up, people from Live and Loud in the beautiful state of West Virginia?
All right, West Virginia. Speaking of West Virginia, to start the interview off, in West Virginia, that's one of the states where, everything started. Kind of the belt of. What am I trying to say here? Hold on 1 second. Yeah, there we go. That's kind of one of the belts of the wrestling, beginnings, right? That's where kind of wrestling started off, like when they territory area.
Yes. It was actually a part of Jim Crockett. I remember in '85 seeing Dusty and Tully in a cage at one of the buildings that's no longer around here, and that was like that's all it took. I saw Tully Blanchard live, and I was hooked.
Wow. You answered one of my questions. You kind of cheated there. That's one of my questions that I always ask. Like, what was that one factor that made you decide you wanted to be a pro wrestler? And it was Tully and Dusty in the cage.
Oh, it wasn't just Tully and Dusty. You put Tully in a program with anybody, and he could sell ice to Eskimos.
All right. So, excuse me. So, Billy Masters. So, tell us a little about yourself. Where were you trained at?
I was trained in a spot in Canova, West Virginia, by a young man named Tyson Smith. He's gone by many monikers over the years. Vinny Viagra. He's actually going by now the Trailer Park King, which I find humorous. I learned the bumps from him. The psychology part was Tracy Smothers, hands down. Wow. I did about a 4 to 5 month trip with Tracy, and believe you me, that was a learning experience in and of itself.
Oh wow, that's awesome. So with you actually traveling with Tracy, how long have you been in the business?
I have been in October 7th will be 16 years.
Wow, that's a lot. I mean, especially being in the area, one of the areas of the territories, you've seen a lot of wrestlers come and go. You've seen a lot of guys come through, with being in the business for 16 years, what are some of the things that you've seen? And I watched a couple of your matches. You're a big guy. You're one of the big guys. What have you seen in your eyes as a change in pro wrestling from the time you've been wrestling 16 years to now?
Oh, Lord God, the internet. It's a lot of things. You've got a younger bunch of more athletic than I could ever possibly dream of being. Bunch of guys coming up that are doing stuff that's unbelievable to watch.
Right.
And on that point, some of it's detrimental, some of it's not.
Mm-hmm.
from what I can see now, a lot of guys anymore, they've got the fundamentals down. They just don't have the psychology yet. And I think that's a lot of things that, these bigger schools that are out now that they teach is the psychology part. And that's when I broke in, you didn't have, schools like, House of Truth or anywhere else like that at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And, you learned the psychology as you went. And if you didn't get it, you got to beat into you real quick.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So with that being said, so do you think that the psychology is being taught at these schools because the kids are already learning the physicality of it? They're learning the flippity doodah shit that I call it. They're learning the, all the crazy stuff, but they don't know how to piece it together. Do you think that the schools are actually training these guys for psychology?
I would hope so, because as my wife so pleasantly puts it, the flippy floppy floopy stuff, some kind of it jives. It looks really good, but there's no rhyme or reason sometimes, and I think that's a lot of what these schools are putting across now is you've got to be able to put all those lines of pretty moves together to make it make sense.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I learned something from Terry Funk, that he said that, everybody does the flippity doodahs and everybody can do that. But a simple thing like a punch can mean so much in a wrestling match. What's your opinion on big moves compared to, again, the flippity doodah shit?
I'm kind of along those same lines. I mean, you could grab a headlock and tell a story all day long.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a time and place for for the flippy? Absolutely. But I'm more of the storyteller. There's only 285 pounds can do. You're not going to see me pull a shooting star anytime soon. But yeah, I fall back to, I watched, I forget which Mania it was, but it was Triple H and Taker, Hell in a Cell with Michaels as the referee. That's the greatest example of storytelling in a match that I've ever seen. And, a lot of guys that, I come in contact with that ask about, well, how do you put things, how do you tell that story? I'm like, watch this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was WrestleMania 27.
Watch the lead up, watch everything, and then watch the match, because the match itself is just not only is it one of the better of all time, it is the best when it comes to telling a story.
Okay. So with you being in the business 16 years, everybody has a goal. Everybody has that one thing that they're looking to do. What's your main goal right now? With 16 years in the business, what do you want to accomplish next?
I want to be able to help the guys coming up. I want to leave, what little bit of a mark that I can going forward. I mean, I don't know how many years I've got left in me, but, I want to be able to, sit 10, 15 years down the road and, listen to things like this and, well, this guy really helped me out. That's my sticking point right now. I'm here to help the future of the business.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So with you being 16 years in the business, that's amazing to me. We've interviewed a lot of guys who've done a lot of things. Tyson Dukes, we just interviewed, he's 21 years in the business, and it's kind of like that same thing. You guys want to leave a mark. You guys want to be able to teach the new groups. If at this moment in time you had an opportunity to teach a seminar, what would be your main point to teach in that seminar?
Wow. Yeah, that one caught me off guard. Protecting the business. I think that's a lot of what's missed out anymore. there's good sides and bad sides to everything in the world, and you've got guys that are in it to help the product, and you've got guys in it that are out for themselves. And I think that is what is more detrimental to anything when it comes to our line of work.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to be able to project this on to, again, like I said, to the next generation. You've got to be able to protect it to the point that my kids' kids can sit with their kids, like I did with my dad, and watch a Tully Blanchard and Dusty Rhodes match. Keep it going for what's next.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. I like that. I like that. Well, with that being said, sir, this is your time right here. At this moment in time, this is where we, let you know, not let you know, but you let the fans know, let the promoters know where they can book you, where they can talk to you at, where they can get at you, so this is your time. Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff. This is your time. Shine.
Okay. Facebook, Billy Masters. Twitter, I believe, is bmasters777. You can get at me at either one of those places, or you can find me soon coming up in Ohio, Delaware, Indiana, anywhere else that'll pay me to come. So yeah, that's about where I'm at right now.
All right. Well, sounds like a plan, sir. Well, we truly do appreciate it. Thank you for joining us on the TTRP interview podcast. We truly appreciate that. For Pat G, I'm Cyclone Jones. Billy Masters, we're out of here, Cyclone.
We'd like to thank Billy Masters. Up next, and our final interview, closing out the show like they close out the bar, the 450 Boys.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we are again with another TTRP exclusive interview. And of course, I'm joined by a guest of the show, favorite guest of the show, Jock Sampson. But he's not alone this time. He's got his two boys with him, the 450 Boys. Gentlemen, introduce yourselves.
This is Ballin' Out Danny Shea, hollering to all the honeys in Fremont, Ohio right now.
TTRP, you're talking with handsome Vinny Scarboni. Here I am live in Fremont, Ohio, boys. What's happening?
And
Yeah, pop another one, John.
it's me. It's Jock Sampson, baby, if you see.
Of course.
I was trying to do the DDP.
These three gentlemen are known as the 450 Boys. Now, for the listeners out there, explain to them who the 450 Boys are and how did you guys come together?
For one, the 450 Boys is Sherman Tank's weight. Just to get that out there right off the bat.
Let's just put it out there.
Let's just put it. No, not really. No, go ahead, Danny.
No, it's a group of guys who are men who love life and every woman on this planet. I tell you what, we've drinking every whiskey you could think of. We've been with every,
what we're talking about right here is five guys. We're talking about genuine Jock Sampson.
Hello.
Genuine.
The pride of Ohio. You know what I'm talking about?
absolutely.
The greatest war champion.
The greatest war champion of all time. We're talking about balling out Danny Shea. You know me, handsome,
Hall of Famer.
future Hall of Famer, first ballot. Handsome Vinny Scarboni, my great brother, Southpaw Sonny Scarboni, fellow War Wrestling Hall of Famer, and of course, as if I need to remind them, our manager Vinny from Jersey. Those five guys right there, the 450 Boys, been wreaking havoc all over Ohio, in every wrestling ring, in every half-empty bedroom when your husband's not home, wherever we want to be. But the 450 Boys, we're well known.
Well, how did the 450 Boys come together? Like, what was the spark that brought all these five guys together?
Well, the first time I met the Scarbonis and Vinny from Jersey, because I met them way before I met Danny, is the first thing I ever did was walk up to one of them and I said, "Hey, I like you dirty wops." I really did.
My kind of guy.
Just walked up and called them the dirtiest dagos that you could ever call somebody. And it's just one of those things, man. I don't know. We just all got together and just, you always have friends, you know, in wrestling, they always say friends are money, and you always have a small group of friends that you're real close to. And, you know, I got involved with these guys, and then Danny Shea found his way in the group because Danny Shea he likes to ball out.
Absolutely.
He really does. You got to see him at the swimming pool.
You know how many times and how many locker rooms I was in, I just didn't fit in. And then I found these guys in Lima, Ohio, and I said, I got to get to know them.
course. Well, we all know about Jock Simpson because from the days of the TTRP being on the radio and Jock Simpson being part of the reason why we got booted off the radio.
That's real.
Okay, there we go.
Now,
Too hot for
Balling
radio.
Danny Shea that's the name. How did you
Balling out, Danny Shea, not balling in. I'm balling in your girl later. That's what it is.
You talking about that good dry rub?
When did you get the dream of becoming a professional wrestler?
Ever since I was a kid. It was 5th grade, watching a video cassette from the local grocery store, and it was Shawn Michaels winning the 1995 Royal Rumble.
The whole number one first.
Absolutely. That's what sold me right away. Razor Ramon, Jeff Jarrett for the Intercontinental title. And
I wrestled him.
Jock has wrestled him.
He has.
But ever since then, it was born, and I couldn't have picked a better time to get involved because I found these crazy hoots right after. So,
well, of course, you mentioned the Shawn Michaels Royal Rumble. Mm-hmm. Where did you go to train it?
I went to the House of Truth in Detroit, Michigan, with Truth Martini.
Very good. Now moving over to the Hampton
Yes, sir.
ceremony. When was the moment that you discovered your dream for pro wrestling?
Well, when you grow up with a brother like Southpaw Sonny Scarboni, and you're so wild and rambunctious and no holds barred, you got to think outside the box. So we weren't the kind of guys who were going to go to college because we could barely go to high school, right? We weren't the kind of guys.
I got a bachelor's.
You got a bachelor's?
Yes.
You are a bachelor tonight, my man.
Don't tell my wife.
So, well, you know, obviously, just like everybody else, we loved it. We watched it. We did all that, but we, you know, like we're not the kind of 9-to-5 guys that can go out and exist in the real world, you know. So we had to find something for two crazy individuals like me and my brother to do. So
there's a recent picture of us.
That's us right there. So just like Danny Shea, a few years before him, you know, fresh out of high school, me and Sonny walked into the House of Truth and made Truth Martini famous. That's basically what happened.
Oh, wow. Made Truth Martini famous.
That's how I found him. I looked up Pro Wrestling Detroit.
Listen, you gotta hear this.
Well, speaking of Truth Martini, we actually just had another person that trained with Truth Martini in the House of Truth, Paragon. He's about 6 months in.
Who?
His name was Paragon. I feel like Jock has something to say.
What's up with Paragon, Jocko?
Do you know who I'm talking about, or
nice boots?
Nice boots? Oh, okay.
Kind of like Dave Johnson.
No, Dave Johnson's got more charisma.
Really?
Oh yeah, I beat the shit out of this kid.
Can't wait to see him.
Yeah, I can't wait not to meet him again.
Yeah, he contacted us through the page. We had an interview and talked about how he came with his gimmick and trained at House of Truth, and he's only been in the business.
What I want to talk about, I'm placing bets tonight. I'm putting $100 down that Dave Johnson ain't showing up tonight.
Facebook Dave?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure he's got
the buzzsaw.
He's got a post on EMT. About EMT.
Okay.
Well,
EMT life.
Getting to the meat and potatoes of why we're here. We're here in Fremont, Ohio, LPW, and last month, you three gentlemen came in, bought your tickets.
We bought our ticket.
Bought your tickets
Paid
for
full
the
price.
show. Paid full price to enjoy an LPW
Just
show.
wanted to watch a night of professional wrestling because we're big fans, as we always say.
We were just in town. We heard there was a show.
We went to the VFW.
We showed up.
We went to VFW, had a drink and some popcorn.
Absolutely.
Just three boys letting our hair down. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Three boys with beards breaking all the rules on a Saturday night. Pat, what do you want? What are you getting to, man?
Well, the fact being is, at one point, you guys decided to stop being fans and involved yourselves in.
Well, I'll tell you what happened was we started being damn men, Pat, is what you're getting to. Jack, explain the real situation.
Look. We bought a ticket. We just wanted to watch good wrestling.
Yeah.
And we're sitting down there in the front row. We're still waiting for that. We had some chicks right behind us and some chick named Corky back there, and they were yelling in our ears. Soon as I know, I look up, D-Ray 3000 is out there running towards us with this look in his eye.
Scary.
Just would put, if it wasn't us, people would have shat themselves.
Like a normal man.
Like a normal man. So what did I do? I protected my friends.
Yep.
Like they would have protected me.
God bless him.
I just kind of sidestepped him and he ran into a pole.
He's uncoordinated.
He's uncoordinated. He's not very athletic.
Well, after all that, a man that you have history with, Tim Horner, and basically put him into retirement.
We keep hearing this name, Tim Horner. Let me tell you, I came to Fremont last month. I didn't see any Tim Horner.
Yeah. No, Tim Horner?
It sounds like the coward of Fremont.
I tell you what, I seen a Tim Hortons down the street.
That's about it. I got coffee and I got the hell out of town, man.
Well, as you guys were in the ring doing what the 450 boys do,
we were protecting
what the
ourselves.
hell did you say?
Yeah.
Protecting my friend?
No, we were protecting
off right now.
We fought for our lives, man.
Okay, fought for your lives. All right. Tim Horner's brother got in the ring and got up in your face, Jock.
Which he shouldn't.
You know the old rap song that say if you fuck with me, you're fucking with death row.
True.
Trust me, ask Corky about that. Because I'm not somebody that you go and mess with.
Well, as we talked about it after recapping the show, he got up in Jock's face, and number one rule of wrestling is always watch your back. And unfortunately, at that point, he didn't have somebody watching him, but Jock did. Of course.
As if he needed it. Are you kidding me right now? Listen, that idiot took his own life into his own hands in front of his family in the same ring that his brother damn near got paralyzed by the same man, Jock Sampson. What's up? What's happening, baby? What else could happen?
True. Well,
our fans are here.
Of course. Well, tonight, you three men, after LPW finally accepted your demands.
Yep.
Just because maybe I missed this, what were your demands?
Well, our demands are simply this. We, of course, as everyone knows, that we had to literally fight our way out of this building. I had to protect myself. Some fan put his hands on me outside of Corky, and I had to fight my way outside the bar.
I did hear about that.
Yeah, so I would like protection, me and my friends. We just want an honest wrestling match.
And there's a first class action lawsuit on that.
Yeah,
as we speak right
absolutely.
now. Oh, wow.
We just want protected. We want protection, first and foremost.
Okay.
Secondly, if you want us, you had to pay us what we wanted paid.
Well, obviously.
To the penny. No less than what we asked. And thirdly, I think I deserve a title shot at the LPW title whenever, wherever I choose that match to be.
Absolutely.
No matter who the champion is. It could be Tuesday in Davenport, Iowa. It could be tonight if I decided.
Okay.
Like, whenever I want to do this,
you have that shot.
I have this shot, and now that we signed this paper...
I mean, tell him, Jock. Tell him the track history. Tell him who you've been in the ring with.
Man, I've been in the ring...
Trust me, I know.
Just tell him again, because these people...
What does this mean to you?
These people need to hear it, Jock.
The honky tonk man.
Go right ahead.
Jeff Jarrett.
What's that do for you, huh?
The Dudley Boys.
We've interviewed Jeff Jarrett.
Hey,
what did he talk about?
Manny Fernandez.
No, because he's
Ron Bass.
Yeah. Tommy Rich.
Tommy Wildfire. Tommy Rich. 6 Doink the Clowns.
6.
Burt Reynolds.
Dusty Dillinger. Whooped his ass.
Already good.
Pretty good.
And the Dudley Boys.
Wow, that's
hold on. How long you got?
Yeah.
Hey,
how long you got?
Get kicked off the FM dial again. You get me pissed off like this.
Rhino.
Yeah. You know, my right hand got tired slapping Rhino around.
Oh, I could do this all day. This could be a whole podcast. Just me naming all the people that I've kicked.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true.
Hornswoggle.
I made Zach
Cabana.
away from the all
back to
Wayne Ferris.
The point in hand. LPW.
Your ass about to be on the list to keep asking these questions.
Oh my God.
LPW. Tonight, you guys have a 6-man tag match.
Yep.
Supposedly, whatever.
Because I only see 5 guys on that.
Mysterious Movado, D-Ray 3000, and a mystery partner.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of rumors going around that the mystery partner is going to be someone that resides here in Fremont. That's
the only mystery I'm worried about is the mystery that's in these draws for the ladies in Fremont tonight.
You're talking about a mystery, and I know what you're hinting at, but that guy's starting to sound like a myth to me because I haven't seen that asshole anywhere around. And I was around late last month in Fremont, Ohio, brother. You're talking about a 6-man tag.
Yep.
And there's 2 guys on the other side, and they're cowards. What kind of coward doesn't announce who's going to be in there? We said it's going to be us.
Yep.
Hey, I know if someone was beating up my brother or my friends right here,
you wouldn't be walking.
They wouldn't be walking. I would have made an appearance, and I would have started throwing my weight around because I'm the kind of guy that takes care of my own. I don't sit around and cower. I don't look for a way out. I don't look for excuses. I say I'm going to do stuff. I do it because I'm not no bitch.
What a man.
My men right here, my guys, ain't no bitch. I am the Ohio Grand Prix champion right now, which means I am.
Wow.
It means.
That is true.
It means I am the number one wrestler in the state of Ohio. I am motherfucking Jock Sampson. And don't you and all these assholes up here in this trailer park piece of shit town.
Trust me, I'm the best.
I see the way. I see the look in your eye right now, Pat.
I've seen Jock Sampson in action up in Buffalo and Rochester. I know what he can do.
You only saw me out in the alleyway with some bitches.
You see that? And now you know what he can really do. But let me tell you, last time in Fremont, Ohio, this guy Tim Horner, everybody keeps telling me about.
Who?
Yeah, Tim Horner. That's what I said.
I know his dad.
Like an owl.
I know his dad.
Tim Horner, Jock Sampson walked right into Fremont, his hometown, slapped around his family, put his hands on his brother, slapped him right across the face. The way you did that, I'm starting to feel like something. I might do something to this Tim Horner guy. I might go put my hands on his wife a couple times. You know what I'm talking about, boy?
Come on now.
Hey, it looks like, hey, you know, I saw how unhappy she was. We may have to go lay hands and help her.
Absolutely.
I'm going to lay down and talk politics. You know what I'm talking about?
That's a good time to.
Put on Fox News. And can we talk about Donald Trump a little bit?
Well, at this point, the floor is yours to promote your booking information, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchats, all that for promoters out there that want to book the 450 boys. It's all yours. The floor is yours, gentlemen. Handle it.
If you don't know who Jock Sampson is and the 450 boys, well, that's your loss. You should just go up and look us up. If you want to book us, hit us up. Jock Sampson, Danny Shea, Vinny Scarboni. You want to book us? You find us. We're not coming looking for you. We're not going to be out there kissing your ass just to make a little money. We're going to make your money. We're going to take your money by beating the absolute shit out of people. By being the absolute best goddamn thing on your shows. Because that's all we know. We don't know failure. It's not like we're Tim Horner or anything.
You know, everybody talks about social media, and that thing is great. So I wanted to promote. You guys can find me on Tinder, /Handsome Vinny. I'll be on there. And I'm actually making a personal appearance at room 206 at this nice little hotel off the freeway tonight. So if there's any ladies hearing this, I'll be in Fremont, Ohio. Tell them balling out.
I tell you what, the only thing you got to bring to the table is an open checkbook, whiskey, and women, and we will be there stealing the show, packing the house like we always do everywhere. And every time we leave a town, they go bankrupt. They sell buildings. I mean, it's plain as day, guys.
Hang on a sec, my phone's ringing.
Hold on.
It's Travis Tritt. Travis Tritt!
Well, that was the 450 boys. Jock Sampson, Danny O'Shea.
Danny O'Shea. Go beat his ass.
I think this thing's over with, man.
Let me get this piece back out.
And Vinny Scarboni.
Fuck off.
Once again, a big thank you to everyone that is joining us for interviews. This has been the 2018 Interview Palooza to catch you up with content from us here at the TTRP. Join us on our next episode as we're going to be at Grapplers Anonymous doing a introspective of what Grapplers Anonymous is and talk to some of the graduates of GA.
The preceding presentation has been brought to you by the Gear Network.